Why small businesses using AI systems are scaling faster. There's a quiet pattern happening right now in small business. Some companies are growing faster than expected, not because they hired more people, not because they raised funding, but because they built systems that run without them. These aren't tech startups. They're consulting firms, agencies, service providers, normal businesses. The difference is they stopped using AI as a tool and started using it as infrastructure. And that shift changes everything about how fast they can scale. The scaling problem. Most small businesses hit the same ceiling. You grow to a certain point, then everything slows down. You're busy, but you're not growing. Revenue plateaus. You're working harder, but not getting further ahead. The problem isn't effort. It's capacity. Every business has human bottlenecks. The owner who approves everything. The one person who knows how the system works. The team that's already at maximum output. You can't scale past human limits without changing the structure underneath. Traditionally, scaling meant hiring. But hiring is slow, expensive, and risky. You need to find people, train them, manage them. And even then, you're just adding more human capacity. You're not removing the bottleneck. You're multiplying it. That's why most small businesses don't scale. They get stuck in a loop where growth requires more people, but more people require more management, which requires more time, which pulls the owner further from what actually drives revenue. It's a structural problem, not a motivation problem. Tools versus systems. This is where the language matters. Most businesses say they use AI. What they mean is they use ChatGPT sometimes. They generate an email. They brainstorm ideas. Maybe they summarize a document. That's fine, but that's a tool. And tools don't scale businesses. A tool requires you to operate it. Every time you use ChatGPT, you're the one opening it, writing the prompt, reviewing the output, deciding what to do next. The tool saves time, but you're still the system. You're still the bottleneck. A system is different. A system runs without you. It takes an input, processes it, makes a decision, and produces an output. It doesn't wait for you to check in. It doesn't need supervision for every step. It handles the repeatable parts of your business automatically. The businesses that are scaling faster right now aren't using AI tools. They're building AI systems. And the difference between those two things is the difference between working faster and actually scaling. What AI systems actually do. So what does an AI system actually look like in a small business? It's not robots. It's not science fiction. It's decision-making infrastructure. Every business runs on decisions. Small, repeatable decisions that happen dozens of times a day. Should this lead get a follow-up? Which template should this client receive? Does this invoice need review? Is this support question urgent? Most of these decisions don't need human judgment. They just need consistency. An AI system handles those decisions. It evaluates the input, applies logic, and takes action. It routes information to the right place. It updates records. It sends the next message. It keeps the workflow moving without waiting for someone to get back from lunch. This is what creates leverage. You're not doing more work. The system is handling the work that doesn't need you. That frees you to focus on the work that does. Strategy, relationships, growth, the things that actually move the business forward. The businesses scaling faster have figured this out. They've mapped their workflows, identified the repeatable decisions, and built systems to handle them. They've turned their operations into infrastructure. System 1, Operations Automation. Let's talk specifics. The first system most businesses build is operations automation. This is the internal work that doesn't generate revenue, but has to happen. Onboarding clients, updating project trackers, scheduling meetings, sending reminders, processing paperwork. In a traditional setup, someone on the team does this manually. They get a new client. They copy information into 3 different places. They send the welcome email. They set up the folder. They add them to the calendar. It takes 20 minutes. Do that 50 times a month, and you've lost a week. An AI system does it in seconds. A new client signs a contract. The system reads the contract, extracts the key details, creates the client record, generates the folder structure, sends the welcome sequence, schedules the kickoff call, and notifies the team. No human touched it. This isn't hypothetical. Service businesses are doing this right now. They use tools like Make or Zapier to connect their systems. They use AI to read documents, extract information, and make routing decisions. They've removed the manual overhead from client onboarding entirely. The result is faster onboarding, fewer errors, and no bottleneck. The business can take on more clients without hiring someone to process them. That's leverage. The same applies to internal operations, expense approvals, time tracking, report generation. Any process that follows rules can be systematized. And once it's systematized, it scales. System 2. Customer communication and support. The second system is customer communication. This is where most small businesses lose time. Answering the same questions, sending updates, following up on leads, managing support requests. It's necessary, but it's repetitive. An AI system can handle most of this. Not with a generic chatbot that frustrates people. With a system that understands context, accesses your actual information, and responds appropriately. A potential client fills out a contact form. The system reads it, determines what they're asking for, checks your availability, and sends a personalized response with the next steps. If it's a question you've answered before, it provides the answer directly. If it needs human attention, it routes it to the right person with full context. Same with existing clients. They ask about project status. The system checks the project tracker, sees where things are, and sends an update. They need an invoice. The system generates it. They have a technical question. The system either answers it or escalates it with all the relevant background. This doesn't replace human communication. It handles the routine so humans can focus on the complex. The client still gets fast, accurate responses. But your team isn't spending half their day answering repetitive questions. The businesses doing this will report 50% reductions in support time. Same quality, faster response, less burnout. And because the system is consistent, clients actually get better communication than they did before. System 3. Data and decision intelligence. The third system is decision intelligence. Most small businesses have data. They just don't use it. Sales numbers sit in a CRM. Website analytics pile up in Google. Customer feedback lives in email. It's all there, but nobody has time to analyze it. An AI system can turn that data into decisions. It monitors your key metrics. It identifies patterns. It alerts you to changes. It suggests actions based on what's actually happening in your business. A consulting firm might have an AI system that tracks project profitability in real time. It sees which clients are over budget, which services are most profitable, which team members are overloaded. It doesn't just report this. It flags the issues and recommends adjustments. An agency might have a system that analyzes lead quality. It tracks which marketing channels bring in the best clients, which proposals have the highest close rate, which outreach messages get responses. It helps you do more of what works and less of what doesn't. This is intelligence infrastructure. You're not guessing anymore. You're making decisions based on actual patterns in your business. And because the system is monitoring continuously, you catch problems early instead of 3 months later. The result is better resource allocation, less wasted effort, faster course correction. The business runs smarter without requiring the owner to become a data analyst. Real-world example. Let me give you a concrete example. There's a marketing consultant in the UK running a one-person operation. Before building systems, her day looked like this. Client calls in the morning, emails and follow-ups until lunch. Afternoon spent on actual client work. Evenings catching up on admin. She was maxed out at 8 clients. More than that, and quality dropped. She built 3 systems. First, a client onboarding system that handled contracts, intake forms, and initial setup automatically. Second, a communication system that managed routine check-ins and progress updates. Third, a reporting system that compiled client results and sent monthly summaries. Same person, no team, but the systems removed about 15 hours a week of repetitive work. She now runs 20 clients comfortably. Revenue nearly tripled. She works fewer hours. And client satisfaction went up because communication became more consistent. That's what this looks like in practice. She didn't hire. She didn't add tools. She built infrastructure that gave her leverage. Why these businesses scale faster? So why does this create faster scaling? Because it removes the structural limits. Traditional businesses scale linearly. More revenue requires more people. More people require more management. Growth is slow and expensive. AI systems scale exponentially. The same system that handles 10 clients can handle 100. The infrastructure doesn't care about volume. This means businesses can grow revenue without proportionally growing costs. They can take on more clients, launch more services, enter new markets, all without doubling headcount. The systems handle the increase in operational load. It also means faster response to opportunity. When a business is bottlenecked by human capacity, they have to say no to opportunities. They can't take the new client because they're at capacity. With systems, capacity is flexible. The infrastructure expands with demand. And perhaps most importantly, it frees the owner to focus on growth. When you're not buried in operations, you can think strategically. You can build partnerships. You can improve your offering. You can actually work on the business instead of in it. Closing thoughts. The businesses scaling faster right now aren't doing anything magical. They're being strategic about where they apply AI. They're not chasing trends. They're building infrastructure. If you run a small business, the question isn't whether to use AI. It's whether you're using it as a tool or as a system. Tools make you faster. Systems make you scalable. Start with one process. Map it out. Identify the repeatable decisions. Build a system that handles them. Then move to the next one. Over time, you'll build an operation that grows without growing your workload. If this approach to business systems made sense, consider subscribing. We cover practical AI implementation for small businesses every day. No hype, just what actually works. Thanks for watching.